Daddy, Daddy!
Bastard son.
Oh no, the door's about to close. Alfonso, hold it open for me. Thank you, Alfonso. Heavenly Sword is a linear, single-player hack-and-slash game that released in 2007 exclusively for the PlayStation 3. We play as Nariko, who wants to protect her clan from an evil lord. To do so, she picks up the legendary Heavenly Sword, said to bring great power to, but also slowly kill whoever wields it. Now, that's a good concept.
Waiting for the moment when she can sink her slavering jaws into my sacred genitals!
These cutscenes are a masterclass in overacting. Andy Serkis, yeah, the Gollum guy, not only plays the main villain, but he is also one of the writers, and he's the dramatic director, which means this is his fault.
I have something of yours, and you have something of mine.
You went full retard, man.
Let me tell you something. It is a treat to see a cast of talented actors completely letting loose. These guys are having the time of their lives.
I am not a fool, say.
It's a matter of opinion, sweetie.
You can really see that they're all a pack of theatre kids thinking, holy crap, we're getting paid for this? Convincing? Not quite. Entertaining? You better fucking believe it.
All the pieces.
Heavenly Sword proudly lives by the rule of cool, which is exactly what it sounds like. I usually can't stand hack-and-slash games, but this answered pretty much every issue I tend to have with them. There is a good sense of impact, everything looks great, and I can always tell what's going on. It is responsive. When you push a button, the thing that's meant to happen happens. It is fine-tuned. There are button combos, but if you're not someone who likes to memorize those damn things, that is me. Hello. The combat is still plenty substantial, and you can throw corpses as weapons. That should just be in every game. Animal Crossing? However, it is not perfect. Clearly, someone decided that the best way to increase the difficulty as the game went on was to make everything less fine-tuned. Swarming you with too many enemies, demanding impractical reaction time, and a final boss that expects you to respond to hair-trigger visual cues, while also hiding you in the middle of an army. The game doesn't become unplayable, just messy, more in line with a standard hack-and-slasher, and the thing is that the challenge here is meant to be clunkiness. You now having to struggle with the controls is the difficulty increase. I know it is, because on my first playthrough I found the final boss way too hard. I was constantly dying because I couldn't get the timing right when parrying his projectiles. On my second playthrough, which is what you're looking at, I now knew the correct timing, and because of that, all 3 stages of the boss fight were completely trivialized. I just casually chipped away at him over and over again and beat each stage with pretty much a full health bar. Simply being comfortable with the controls removed all the challenge. It's crappy difficulty scaling that makes the game less fun to play, which is tragic, because the first couple hours were sublime. This whole game looks and feels expensive. The visuals really are revolutionary. I mean, by 2007, they already had the hair physics from Horizon. Even on the PS3, everything looks incredible. Beautiful locations, full of color and light. They look like concept art come to life, which is good because environmental concept art is my jam. I've been kicked out of multiple disco. Characters look amazing. They're all dressed in poise like their own little storybook. You know what everyone's about just from their look. In cutscenes, characters' faces are crisp, as in visually clear. I always thought Uncharted was the pioneer of facial animations in video games, but this came out the same year, and honestly, I think it looks even better.
Master Shen said I must hide.
And did you?
Yes. No. Well, a bit.
This 19-year-old game is sporting a quality of character animations we rarely see today.
We may need you to play Twin Twang.
There are some really cool finisher animations, and a lot of them revolve around Nariko mashing the enemy's crotch, but like, too many of them, if you know what I mean.
Maybe I'll hit your weak point for massive damage.
Monkey peaches.
Huh?
Genitals!
The soundtrack's good. There's one track that sounds like a woman going, okay, 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 okay. The actual narrative is pretty generic fantasy stuffs. Prophecies and evil lords, but generic is by no means a story killer. Good characters with compelling dynamics make good stories, and that's where this game messes up. All of Nariko's relationships are predetermined. They settled before we came along, and so there's never much question how her ties are going to fare. The scene where she finds out her dad tried to kill her as a baby, as in she was a baby and he tried to kill her, could have been an exciting reveal, but it's not. Because, for one, her relationship with her father is clearly already broken, and for two, like half an hour ago, Nariko had a monologue about how she always has nightmares of her father standing over her about to bring down a blade, right as he does literally that. It's barely a reveal by this point. It changes nothing, and it's the most the game has in terms of character work.
Leave me.
Certain levels revolve around projectiles, and this is where the game's launch title identity rears its head. You know how controllers have motion sensors that no games ever use because it's gimmicky and annoying? Well, this one uses them. You want to play the game effectively? You are gonna have to steer that puppy like a mini kamikaze pilot. Credit where it's due, you can switch to standard controls in the settings, but I chose not to. Once you get a feel for it, there is a decent satisfaction to disobeying the laws of physics all for the sake of annihilating some poor guy's coccyx. That said, these sections always go on too long. I really liked Anna Torv's performance as Nariko.
I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to kill that walking flesh-bagged son of yours.
She has a much more strong and mature way of speaking than you might have guessed for a 2000s scantily clad battle babe, which I think fits really well. She does a great job selling Nariko in her conflicting emotional state of simultaneously dying and being stronger than ever before.
There was a time when I cared what the clan thought about me. But that time has passed.
Bringing a lot of charisma to a character that could have felt very generic otherwise.
Oh, it's so much better when you're angry.
There are QuickTime events, which generally range from annoying to inoffensive. Unfortunately, these ones are more the former. They always appear at the bottom of the screen, so you have to lock in down there instead of watching all the cool stuff that you're technically taking part in. Though unlike most QuickTime events, it does actually allow you to mess up a little bit without outright failing, which is appreciated and also kind of funny. I like this game. It's not a masterpiece, but it's so much fun, it's got so much style, it's not afraid to be zany and weird. Seriously, it's a crime that this game can only be played on a 20-year-old console. It wasn't considered a success, and it never got a sequel. The game doesn't actually leave itself open for a direct sequel on account of the whole titular weapon dooms protagonist to a slow death thing, but it did have potential to be a sort of generation-spanning saga where new people would pick up the Heavenly Sword in different eras. I'm not gonna lie, it stings a little to know that I'll never get to play Heavenly Sword Blade Runner. But why did it fail? I can think of numerous reasons why this wouldn't have popped off commercially back then. It didn't have a tacked-on multiplayer mode. Normal now, but unspeakable then. It has a woman on the cover, and she is attractive, but I don't think that was good enough. 2007 is firmly in the era where games were strongly catering to the fragile masculinity demographic. Look, it's got a steroid gun guy on the cover. You play this game and you will literally become him. Becoming a woman is not reinforcing anyone's masculinity. I'm sure that if she had been gratuitously wrapped around some macho man, they would have bought it. The title Heavenly Sword sounds very generic, and also sounds just the itziest, witziest, little bitsiest like a porn title. The game also garnered a little reputation as a wannabe God of War killer, a highly successful series of hack-and-slash games, where you play as a macho man. Go figure. First of all, stop marketing your stuff as the popular thing killer. People like popular things, they aren't looking to have them killed. Speaking of which, if you guys could get me trending as the Mr. Beast killer, that would be appreciated. Second of all, God of War is a PlayStation exclusive. You know, like this game. What the fuck were they hoping to achieve? That's like setting up a dogfight and thinking, yeah, this'll teach cats a lesson. Sales aside, this game's big flaw is that it's forgettable. Hence, we're here. But it's a unique sort of forgettable. Because it's not boring, it's not subdued or reserved, it's not bad, it's actually pretty good, and I liked it. but I forgot that I liked it. Because I played it twice, right? And the first time I jotted down bullet points for this script. The second time I come back to this script after months, and the first thing I read is, I really, really like this game. And I was like, oh, I did, didn't I? I'd completely forgotten. I'd been looking at this game feeling nothing, but I've actually always liked it. So the question is, why? Why is Heavenly Sword unable to leave a lasting impact? That's actually pretty easy to answer because it does most things right, except for the story. From the very beginning, it just throws you into the narrative with no real setup and acts like you're already invested in this story, which is a bad move. The problem with steamrolling the story forwards like everybody's already on board is that the people who aren't on board, which is everyone because you didn't set it up properly, now feel like third wheels to the narrative. Every emotional beat starts to feel like an inside joke that you don't get because you're the new kid, and it never gives you an in. We are watching Nariko go through the most grueling challenge of her life, but we don't know who she is normally, so we have nothing to contrast it with. To us, this is all she's ever been and all she's ever done. But she had a sad childhood, doesn't that buy her immediate sympathy? I have sympathy for homeless people. That doesn't mean I'm invested in them, unless I give them money, in which case I am in fact investing in them and I expect to see some hefty returns. I've found games with similarly weak stories, with weaker presentation than this, to be more compelling and more memorable, which I now realize is because they knew how to frame it. The hero's arc here is Nariko's transition from the shunned cursed child to the heavenly hero, but we don't get to see the first half of that. And so the second half rings hollow. It's called an arc for a reason. You can't start in the middle, that's just a downward slope. The player's alienation from the narrative prevents the game from leaving a proper emotional impact, and that is the thing that sticks around once the credits roll. That is what killed Heavenly Sword. Perhaps the highest quality forgotten game that there is, done in by bad writing. And that's why the story matters, kids. Watch my John Wick video.